Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we are going to have a little chat about the possibility of some new Ork Boyz. See, this is the back of the Gaunt's Ghosts box, and on that box there is a nice little image of some Imperial Guard facing off against some boys with shooters, as we can see, a few dice in there, and this directs you to the Warhammer 40,000 website. But the thing is, these boys are interesting boys because they seem to be brand new boys. Now, how do we know this? This is something where you could just look at it and go, well, it's a grainy picture, there's not a huge amount of detail. How do we extrapolate a new set of boys from this? Well, there's a few changes to the current Ork Boyz kit that we can kind of draw on here. Firstly, one of these guys, at least, you can see is not wearing a top of any kind. There's no armour, there's no shirt, there's nothing. There's also no furs. Now, if you look at the Beast Snaggers, then they have a pretty kind of standard look to them, where they are all covered in some sort of scaly hide, some sort of fur, some sort of like just the skin of an animal. Generally speaking, you see on the Beast Snaggers. As you can see from this picture, all of them have got some sort of covering, at least on the shoulders. And you'll note that the guy on the top right, the Ork on the top right, screen right, is not wearing any sort of shirt at all. There's none of that going on with him, and if you look at the current Ork kit, that is simply not an option. There is no option for that at all. All of these guys are wearing either some sort of leather vest or some sort of armour. So we know that it's not any of these guys, it's not any of these Beast Snagger models, and it's not any of these current Ork Boyz. There's also the fact that these are painted differently. So the example Ork Boyz that you tend to see are these guys. They traditionally have had a slightly darker skin, whereas these have more of an Age of Sigmar / Beast Snagger skin tone to them. Now, of course, it could be that Display Armies at Games Workshop, they will have already changed the colour scheme, but I feel like the fact that these match the Beast Snaggers really well in terms of skin tone is another good indication that these are actually something new. There's also the size of these as well, which is, I think, an important thing to note. If you look at the size of them compared to the Imperial Guardsmen, they are really quite chunky. They've got, they're taller, they're broader, they are significantly larger than the baseline humans they're facing off against in this picture. And again, if you look at the current Ork range, I mean, I have one of these exact Orks right in front of me, and he is not bigger than a Guardsman. Like, he is not taller than a Guardsman. So the fact that the ones in this image, again, are that much bigger is a really good indicator that actually what we're seeing here is a new Ork Boyz kit. Now, of course, it is difficult to tell because of the blurriness of the image. Like, this is super zoomed in. This is a quick picture that someone's taken of the back of the box. I got sent it on Twitter. I know that it showed up on Bolter and Chainsword as well, but I don't know where the image actually originated from, so I apologise for not being able to give that information, but I just haven't been able to track down the original source of it. I've got so many different variations of this picture at this point that, yeah, it's just hard to track down where it first came from. But honestly, I mean, I'm looking at it, and none of these guys match these. They don't match them at all. If we have a quick look at, say, let's have a look for, say, the Ork Knobs, for instance. Even if we look at them, because I did think to myself, well, maybe it's like a Kit Bash Knob thing. Again, it's not these guys. It's definitely not these guys. These guys do have that lighter skin tone, thinking about it, but it's still not the same recipe as them. But as you can see, again, a total lack of, just no armour on the top of these. Now, something that could be possible, something that would be interesting and a good use of the box, it might be that Beast Snaggers can also be built to have shooters, maybe? It's not just this build that comes in the box, it's actually a box that, does two different units. And of course that holds true for the current Ork Boyz kit. You've got close combat options or you've got shooters. So it would make sense for the Beast Snaggers to operate the same. It's the fact that there seem to be totally different torsos available in this one than you see on the Beast Snaggers that, I mean, it may well be a dual kit where you can build Beast Snaggers or you can build Ork Boyz with shooters or even Ork Boyz with close combat weapons as well. I'm not sure. It's difficult to tell. All we really know from this is these guys are new. They're new, they are different, They have shooters, they don't have close combat weapons, so it's either a dual kit build for the Beast Snaggers, or these are brand new Ork Boys that are going to be brought out in the near future. Either way, I'm excited about this, genuinely. These lads have been around for 20 years, and you know, they're not the worst, but they could do with an update. For my money, the Beast Snaggers just look so much better than these guys. They just do. But then again, these are 20 years newer, so you would expect them to. The idea of having just standard boys at the same level of detail and quality, I mean, that just makes me excited for Orks. It really does. So, yeah, that's what we've got currently. I've no doubt that someone's realised this. There'll be an article on the Warhammer community site in the next couple of days. Probably today. Probably within the next 2 hours, because they usually tend to put them up just after I've made videos on stuff. That's how it usually works. But until then, best guesses in the comments down below. New boys, dual kind of kit for the Beast Snaggers. What do we reckon? Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things. Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like. Don't click it if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.